You're with me, Raju, editor-in-chief at transformationchampions.com. And I am doing a series of interviews with corporate and wellness leaders. Today, I'm with nutritionist Aditi Prabhu, who's a qualified clinical dietitian and sports nutritionist. She is a nutrition coach, certified diabetic educator, nutrigenomics counselor, public speaker, food blogger, writer, and palmist. She's a black belt in karate and trained in yoga. She's here with us to share her thoughts on the importance of nutrition and healthy lifestyle. Now over to Aditi. Good afternoon, Aditi. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm doing great. I hope you're doing well too.
Yeah, I'm doing excellent, Aditi. Thank you for that. Let me start my questions, Aditi. So
Yes.
basically, what are your daily routines, particularly with respect to food and workout, to take care of your own wellness?
When it comes to food, I am the one who takes care of the food department at home.
Okay.
I do the grocery shopping. I do the cooking. So the food is always in my hands. I also grow my own food a little bit, whatever I can in the urban gardens in Mumbai. So that's how I take care of the food. And the food is normally based on each and every member of the family, their health requirements and medical conditions, and the meals are planned as per that. Apart from that, as for the other things that I do, I have work and food, the routine balance that is there. So I have my own clinic, so I'm my own boss. I can go work as per my convenience at my time. So it gives me the leeway to do other things as well. It gives me time to focus on my meditation, yoga, do whatever the workout routines that I have that are required. Of course, unlike most people, I cannot do hardcore workouts anymore because I have a condition called as fibromyalgia, which limits my workouts. But that's my overall routine.
Very much. I think you have covered almost everything. I say you have a garden, you are growing your own food, you cook food, and you do a lot of yoga, meditation, and other things as well. It's a totally comprehensive daily routine. It's really good to hear that. And being an expert in the field, right? What would you say are some of your core principles as a nutritionist?
Okay. So for me, if you ask me my core principles, one, I totally believe in holistic nutrition.
Okay.
Now, we live in an era where everybody is looking at specialization.
Right.
This person is specialized in this, the other one is specialized in that. What happens is you don't get that one platform or one person where you can go and ask. I'm not saying I'm that one touch point where I'll give you all information, but I can at least guide you as to what needs to be done and who you need to approach.
Yeah.
So my aim is giving a holistic nutrition base to everybody, which encompasses your mental health, your new food requirements, your lifestyle changes. So that is one of my core principle. Apart from that, I really believe in sustainable living and going local. So that is something I try to incorporate in my practice.
Right.
And I prefer my customers or clients also to take up those values while they are coming to me and leaving. So I want more and more people to go into local food, local ingredients, and explore the huge diversity that we have. And lastly, to make nutrition accessible to everybody.
Very good.
See, there are people working to the higher end society.
Yeah.
What we need to focus on is people who are from the lower middle class or the lower income group, and that's where I focus on.
Very glad to hear about your core principles, Aditi. And but I See, it's definitely the whatever the principles we have, there could be some challenges in implementing these principles, right? So, particularly as a nutritionist, what are those challenges, Aditi?
Uh, there are quite a lot of challenges, trust me. And main being today's people, somehow they want everything quick.
Yeah.
They want quick results. They want everything super fast.
Yeah.
What happens is health doesn't work that way.
Right.
I'm not Harry Potter who will transform you within seconds.
Correct.
You need to take charge of your health. It takes a longer process. You have to approach health in a holistic way.
Right.
And that takes time. It's a lifestyle. So this is one concept that people are not somehow ready to accept, that it takes time and they will have to put in efforts. That is one little challenge that I feel. The second one is we live in an era that is super fast. We are doing grocery shopping online and buying things online. So we are looking at convenience. So what happens is, when I look at promoting local food, if you know, you work in the field, you would know that local ingredients, you'll get them in the local market with the local farmers and the local vendors.
Yes.
That is not something that is easily accessible on Amazon. And even if it's available on Amazon, the cost price difference is huge.
Right.
The same nachni that is available at the Banyawala and the same nachni that is available on Amazon, it's like triple X the amount. So that is one limitation where I'm actually telling people, get out of your house, take your children, go to the market, enjoy the whole process of buying, choosing your ingredients. So these are a couple of things that I face a problem with, but I won't say it's a problem. I think with every time I face a challenge, it's an even more challenging experience to overcome it. So it's fun working because every client, there's a different approach that I take.
Very good. I think what you're saying is go out, enjoy uh, the shopping as well as picking up, choosing a set of
Yes,
nutrition products, right? So that could be fruits, vegetables, or whatever they choose. Is go to the market, local market, and see, use,
absolutely.
and buy, right?
Yes,
Yeah. And you were talking about all the challenges, Aditi, but there could be a lot of successes in your practice, right, as a nutritionist. What are the successes you've
I
got?
think every case where you make a little difference in somebody's life is a success. A person who's buying things from Amazon comes and tells me, Aditi, I've gone to the market and the cost price is different. I could choose my vegetables. I could talk to the vendors. The expression on their face, the happiness that they get is amazing. Somebody who's not cooked goes into the kitchen, cooks it, and has their own meal. That is amazing. I think these, for me, these little things are success, because these little things together are going to become a huge thing for me. And with every client, I set these little targets that they can set on, and they can enjoy the success too, which becomes even more interesting. Apart from this, when there are cases where I can actually make a significant difference in medical cases, where you're dealing with PCOD patients and the symptoms have gone down drastically, or there's reversal of diabetes that has happened, it is amazing experience being a part of people's journey when they're transforming their own life. Is a learning experience for us mentors or coaches too, because as much as we put the effort, the client is putting double the effort. We're just being the support system and the knowledge point for them. So it's a mind-blowing experience, and I could, like, I have a decade-year-old experience in the field now, so the number of success stories are huge, and I could just go on and on with every single success story, because for me every case is a success, no matter where, what, even if it's little. I think it's a success story.
I totally agree with you, Aditi. Even if it is little, yeah, it's a success story, and we have to celebrate success as well. Right? So, absolutely.
and celebrate it in the right way.
Right, yeah. Good. Uh, and coming to lifestyle disease, right? So, what do you think are the main causes of lifestyle diseases like diabetes, the BP, asthma, depression, and many others, right? So, what do you think?
You've actually answered your own question.
Okay.
It's lifestyle diseases. It's caused by lifestyle. Uh, if you have to, I have to elaborate it. What in your lifestyle causes these disorders is mainly your routine, how you're, getting involved with your day, how, when do you eat food, what sort of food choices you make. So your choices are another thing. When it comes to food, when it comes to exercise, your personality is a big thing, because if you're someone who takes a lot of stress,
Right.
even this much stress is going to become so much for you. And even if your stress taking capacity is high, how you manage the stress, if you don't know that, that's going to add on. So like I pointed out earlier, we live in an era where we are working non-stop. And unlike our previous generation, which was mainly into physical labor, today 80 to 90% of us are doing only mental work. And the mental work is tremendous. And it's all about sitting in one place and thinking. An IT person is sitting for 10 hours, 12 hours in one place. That's the root cause of your problem. So for every individual is different, but overall, these are the parameters that lead to your lifestyle diseases, stress being the biggest one of them.
Very good. I think we are running behind something which we don't know what is that, right? So instead of concentrating
Absolutely.
on our own health, okay.
I totally agree to that.
So what does the kind of food people eat contribute towards these diseases, Aditi?
So coming back to the point I said, if you're working like in an IT field where your duty hour starts like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, it goes up to 10, 11 o'clock. Uh, Taking tiffins for a lot of people is not possible. So then you're looking at convenience food. Convenience in terms of something that you can sit on the table and have while you're working. Secondly, canteens, hotels, takeaways, or Zomato delivery means. So your food choices matter. Now, when you're continuously sitting in one place and you are under tremendous stress, what happens is you will look for food that's going to make you feel good. It's not, very few go to choose roti sabzi or dal chawal. It would be some Chinese fried rice or some burger or something that is tasty to the taste buds and will give you the feel good factor. So now that in terms is going to affect your health. So your food choices matter. The peers along with whom you're roaming around or you are in constant touch with. So if your colleagues are such that they binge eat, they have parties every weekend, that's going to be another factor that's going to affect your lifestyle. Again, most of us, like I said, are working long hours. So sleep gets disturbed. There's no activity there, physical. So you're not exhausted except for the mental exhaustion. So the sleep is disturbed. So overall, your entire cycle is disturbed. So somewhere getting that balance is important. Your food choices makes the biggest role, because more you consume the processed food, the junk food, the refined food, which is easily accessible, it's going to impact all these disorders. Plus, um, healthy food today is somehow expensive. Your salad is 250, 300 rupees here in Mumbai, and the main course dish also is 200, 300 rupees. So a person would rather choose a cooked Punjabi paneer tikka or paneer makhani or malai paneer rather than going for a salad.
Yeah.
So then that food choices are also impacted. If I choose this, I will choose a naan with it to go with the gravy. Then I'm adding on more calories, more food. So ultimately, all those calories, wrong food, refined food is going to impact your health. Weight gain is going to happen and you'll land up in medical disorders.
And I think you have covered predominantly all the advices as well. But if you want to highlight top three advices you want to give to the your customer or people in general to prevent lifestyle diseases, what would be?
So have a routine, very, very important.
Okay.
Have a fixed routine where you're eating this thing, whatever meals at particular time, uh, in a particular quantity. That saves a lot of your effort. Have a control on what you're eating and your exercise routine. So make conscious choices when it comes to food. Just don't go by the taste or your craving. Go by what your body needs.
Right.
I don't say neglect the cravings and all. You have to address them. But if the cravings are overpowering your actual need, I don't think they're important. You have to focus on your needs. Your physical needs are important. And lastly, manage your stress. Lot of people feel, अरे मुझे कोई stress नहीं है. I don't have any tension. What they don't understand is there's no standard definition for stress. Something that is stressful for me may not be stressful for you. So they definitely need to address the stress factor, analyze their life, see what is stressing them, and learn to manage the stress. Half your battle is won when you manage all of these factors. The rest is just, manipulation things here and there.
Thank you for that advices, Aditi. And this is particularly to the corporate employees, right? So where they work in a stress environment. What are the advices you would give to the specifically to the corporate employees to prevent illness?
Okay. Uh, for corporate, especially, I would say understand yourself. Understand who you are, what you are, your personality, your physical requirements, and then make your choices. Once you understand yourself, see, we are busy understanding everything else except for ourselves. And we make health the last priority on our list usually. So make it that priority. And for that, you need to understand yourself and your physical requirements. If you don't understand yourself, take help of professionals, whoever are there in the field. Understand. Once you understand what you require, it becomes much easier to handle your food. And that's what I do in the nutrition counseling is teach every client what they need rather than focusing on what they want or what the goal is. So that is one thing, understand yourself. Secondly, like I mentioned earlier, having a routine is very important. In a corporate, I worked in corporate, I know how it feels to, sit there and constantly work, and there's so much stress that you forget your food. Have a routine. Very important that you give time for your food. And when you give time for your food, please respect the food and focus on the food. Don't divert and focus on screen time. The third main point is reduce your screen time. Most of us today are working with technology. If you know or have read research, you would understand maximum exposure to screen time is disturbing a lot of things in your own life. It's causing anxiety, depression, sleep deprivation, sleep issues. So if you're working non-stop with your laptop or computers, of course, at least during the mealtime, you can shut that mobile phone and keep it aside and focus on your food. So reducing the screen time is going to be very important. And of course, the food and exercise is a generalized rule, so I'm not going to repeat that. Making conscious food choices is the main thing. But from the corporate perspective, these three things are definitely something I would ask them to focus on.
Definitely, Aditi. Very pointed, useful tips for the corporate employees. And millets are called as a miracle grain, right? So, uh, would that be part of your diet recommendation, Aditi? If yes, what are the benefits of millets?
Uh, to answer that, firstly, I use a lot of millets.
Okay.
I explore a lot of millets. I use a lot of them in different forms in my own meals, right from flours to whole millets. And I keep experimenting with the recipes to see what is convenient, what people can easily make. So practice what you preach comes first. So yes, millets are a big part of my diet suggestions also. Why millets are important, or why are they called miracle food? One thing I think, millets basically, they are the biggest way you can ensure sustainable living. They grow in any sort of atmosphere, climate, so they are ecologically good. And the carbon footprint again is the big thing. So that's less. You're actually going to foods which are complex carbs, and they're simple to cook. Their satiety level is very high, so even a small portion of millet, you'll be much fuller than like this amount of rice. A small dose of ragi would be enough. So millets are a great choice. Plus, they are a rich source of micronutrients. So definitely they are one thing that I would incorporate in the routine. Of course, like we spoke about limitations, one of the limitation is incorporating them in the routine of modern day man who's always running after time. So that's where the work of the nutritionist or people like us comes in, where we are telling them how to use the millets effectively and use them so that they can take it to their tiffins, they can cook it easily a day prior and have them later, how to incorporate them in whatever form of recipes that are there. So that's our work. Chefs also help out in that, and that's amazing. So millets to me are definitely miracles. They are the need of the hour. We need to all focus on millets and move towards incorporating millets in our routine rather than just focusing on rice and wheat. So we need to look at the indigenous varieties.
Yeah, a lot of good benefits to hear from you, right? As a nutritionist about millets. One thing if I ask me, Aditi, I would also say that one of the, I would say only, this is the only crop which grows without any chemical, right? And with lesser water, actually. It doesn't need a complicated
Exactly.
fertilizer, a complicated pesticide, nothing is required.
And that's why it's so good for the ecological system, and it's going to be helping us in reducing the carbon footprint, and thereby we are going to be looking at sustainable living. So if we can do that, that's amazing. So a lot of us, I would ask a lot of viewers, whoever are going to be watching this, to actually try and incorporate millets in their meals, even if it's a small portion. Fair enough, start with little, you will go on to the bigger side later sometime.
Totally agree with you, Aditi. And particularly in this modern age, Aditi, what do you think is the motive of people seeking nutrition consultation?
I see a changing trend at the moment. In between, so like I said, I have a decade-year-old experience. 10 years back, if you ask me, the last thing on people's mind was nutrition.
Yes.
And very few would come to us to have a nutrition counseling and all. Gradually, people started getting aware, but people's goal was more temporary. They were like, shadi hai, I want to lose so much weight. I have sister's wedding coming up, let me lose so much weight. I have this date where I have a program, this much weight. They would come with short term goals. Today, yes, there are few people who still come with these goals, but now people are actually focusing on health and fitness, which is way beyond the digit on the weighing scales, which is more to do with a holistic approach, and which is amazing, which is what I've been waiting for to see that change. And I'm glad that change is happening, that more people are looking at incorporating local food, eating healthy, cooking their own meals, and they're making time and investing that time in their own health. So I see a positive change that is happening, and I'm just loving it as a professional in the field.
Good to hear that, Aditi. And particularly currently, the COVID-19 situation, right? Specific to that, what are the advices would you provide to the people?
Rule number 1, social distancing, personal hygiene. So you need to maintain the social distance and take care of your personal hygiene. That's going to be crucial. Wearing face mask, gloves is important. I'm just repeating the rules that everybody is aware of. Again, as I've been saying, having a routine in your lifestyle is going to be crucial. Immunity is something that everybody is talking about when it comes to COVID, but immunity is not something that you can build in one day with a certain amount of food or certain ingredients. It's a holistic approach. What food you have in totality, how you have it, how you cook it, and your exercise. So that balance has to be struck. Now somebody says turmeric is good, so you just go on putting turmeric in all dishes. It's not how it works. You need to know how, where to use what, and use it very efficiently. So maintain social distance, take care of personal hygiene, have a routine in terms of food and exercise, consistency in your efforts to getting healthy and fit is what I would say. Of course, there are a lot of foods that would help you support this. But to give a very generalized rule, eat local, eat seasonal, and eat home cooked meals. Home cooked because you know what you're putting in and what you are eating. And that should take care of a lot of your issues here.
Very nice. So, what do you think would be a new normal, particularly with respect to health habits due to Corona situation? Adi?
Uh, Honestly speaking, I don't see a lot of change in people at the moment, especially in Mumbai. People are still taking health for granted, and that's a little bit sad for me. It's high time people realize that health is very, very important and it's the biggest wealth that they have, and they should start investing in their health, their family health, because it's very important. And you don't need to do much when you take care of your health. So, having healthy practices, ensuring home cooked meals, which because of Corona, we are tied up at home, we are doing. Maintaining that after this is over is going to be the key here. So, I can't say what would be the next norm or the health habit that would come up. I'm just going to wait and watch what the scenario is. But like I said, I see that positive change where people are taking health seriously. And I hope that wave hits everybody and people start taking health more seriously.
Agree, totally agree. Yes. So, what would you say have been the most defining moment in your practice? Adi?
Again, it's very difficult to answer that because, like I said, every case is very, very unique and it defines you as a person as itself. Because, like I said, we are just coaches, we are just coaching people. When people put in a lot of efforts, no, it's not just they are learning, we are also learning. At least in my case, I learn from every person's experience. And it defines you also, and they are defining moment. But to put it, if I had to bring it down to a couple of incidences. So when I started off my career as a private practitioner, I started off with a local gynac, and she's a senior gynac in the area. And the thing that she said is, you're a newcomer in the field, why don't you join my hospital, learn how this works, and then set up your own practice. So she was a huge big mentor in my life, who gave me a platform to start learning how things work. But while being a mentor, she worked with a lot of people from the below poverty line people. The way she approached them, handled those cases, uh, it was amazing to work with them. Because when you work with these people, they understand the importance of food, they want to take care of their health, and they take your advice seriously and they implement those things, which is amazing to see their life transform. So that was one defining moment which made me choose that I would like to work with these people more. Not that I'm open to other age groups or other sects of the society, but I prefer working with the lower income group and middle class group and making nutrition accessible to them. So that's one defining moment that I would say was, took a change. Uh, Apart from that, when clients come back to you, they've consulted you in one organization, and then after a couple of years, they trace you down wherever you are, and then they come back to you. That's been an amazing experience because they had we made a difference in their life at that point, and they want to come back so that we make a difference again. That is like a unsaid compliment to us. So for me, that also is a defining moment, because I have quite a few clients who've come back after a gap. They've recommended people, and that's amazing because you are there to make a difference in somebody's life, and that feeling is good. It's out of the world.
We have come to the end of the interview, Aditi, and thank you very much for making yourself available for this conversation, providing a great insight into nutrition and healthy life. And thank you very much, Aditi.